Thank you guys for being here. Today we are talking about time and how do we manifest more time. So we're going to start by looking a little bit in the science because it's really exciting and interesting, and that builds more faith and expands our mind to believe in the later part of this class that it is possible to manifest more time. So time's not fixed. It's experienced according to neuroscience. So time is not just minutes on a clock, it's how consciousness experiences moments. For example, when you are on your first date and you're with somebody that you really love, think about how 1 hour will go by so quickly because you're completely present and you're feeling all of this joy. But say you take that same hour and the entire time your fingers on the stove, it's going to feel like an eternity. Right? The clock didn't change, but our state of consciousness did. So just a little science to build up our faith and that we can manifest more time. Science says the brain constructs time. So in neuroscience, the brain does not measure time directly. Time's constructed from our attention, our emotions, our beliefs, our memories, our nervous system. Once again, the nervous system, the safety. It literally is the root of everything, how safe we feel. So examples, fear slows time perception and joy speeds it up. And when we're in a complete total flow state, say painting or doing something we love, it dissolves time altogether. Time's not sensed like sight or sound. It's assembled by our mind. I really like how Bashar, if you ever follow Bashar, puts it in a spiritual perspective. He says it's like if you have a movie film strip and you laid the movie film strip out in front of you. Everything is here and right now. It's all time is just all in front of you, and our minds are just putting it in orders to make sense of it. It's really interesting. But Einstein even said, with his relativity, he proved that time passes at different rates depending on speed and gravity. So two people can experience different amounts of time, even if it's the same event, and both are correct. Observation plays a role in this because reality behaves different depending on how it's observed and what we're observing. So our observation changes time. And modern physics says time's relative. Time's not a thing. It's something that emerges from change. So time is not something that they can even put into the equations because it's something that emerges from the relationships of other things. And so science says time is not absolute from every perspective. The mind shows us that time's experienced, and spirituality invites us into the only place that time actually really exists, which is right now. Very fascinating to me. I love this kind of stuff. So the subconscious, what's the subconscious have to do with this? Well, everything. Because it's organizing reality to confirm what it believes is true. So if we keep telling it there's not enough time for anything, it's just going to support that belief and prove it to us. Right? I know for me, there's been many times where I've found myself really overwhelmed because I'm saying, there's no way even today. And I was like, wait a minute, I made a whole presentation about this. And so I started changing my self-talk, and just doing that is enough to begin to shift things for you. And I'm going to share that self-talk with you in just a minute. According to Bruce Lipton, 95% of our lives is the subconscious, and 5% of our lives is conscious. So 95% of our lives, that means our decisions, the way we move through the world, the way we react to people, it's all coming from our subconscious mind. That's a whole lot. That's the majority of our life. Every time we go to think about something, the subconscious takes over. Like when we're driving, I'm sure you've heard that. The subconscious takes the wheel. It is handling a lot of stuff. So it's important that we pay attention to what's in there. So time scarcity beliefs, like I'm always rushed, there's never enough time, I'm always behind. The subconscious will speed up our perception of time to support that. It'll create distractions and urgencies, anxiety, and sabotage our focus because it's supporting what we believe. Very fascinating. So some common self-talk that limits our time and slows it or makes it go like we don't have enough of it. Of course, what you would think is, I don't have time. I'm running out of time. I'm already late. I should be further along and I can't keep up. There's too much to do. We've all had times in our life, especially if we have children, where we have said these things to ourselves. And what was interesting about this on the right side is how the subconscious, what it does to our body when we say these things. It actually makes our nervous system go into fight or flight. It sends signals and things into our brain to make our focus scatter. It makes small tasks feel overwhelming and time feels faster. And then there's calm and self-talk that expands time. And we're going to go into this a little further in a minute. You know, there's enough time for what truly matters to me. I really like that one because it's not saying there's enough time for everything. No, there's enough time for what truly matters to me. And you believe it, and it instantly makes you feel more calm, at least for me. I'm supported by time. Time works with me. I have time to be present. To me, the top one is the most powerful. But this self-talk is proven to calm our nervous system, increase focus, make our focus more efficient. Just this whole thing of presence slows time down because the subconscious begins organizing our life differently. So here's a theme in all of our lessons, right? When the body relaxes, time expands. So presence is the real time management tool. I will say at the end of this, I have some practical tools for us too. But this is the big one, you know? We don't manage time, we're trying to manage our energy. Grounding with our breath, pattern interrupting the limiting self-talk. We all have heard of that, but maybe for people that are new that join our community and watch a replay, a pattern interrupt is when, for instance, you're saying you catch yourself feeling overwhelmed or feeling a certain thing that you don't want to feel. Then you pay attention to what you're telling yourself. You'll realize that we're only feeling based on what we're telling ourselves. That's the only thing that makes us feel in this life is our interpretation and the way we define what's happening and what we tell ourselves about it. So we can shift what we're telling ourselves. We don't have to shift 100%. I like these micro shifts, or what we've heard before is 1% shift, because we still believe it. So it makes an instant shift because the subconscious gets on board with it right away. Whereas if we're affirming, I have all the time in the entire world, your subconscious is going to go, oh, that's called BS on it. And maybe if you say it enough times, eventually it'll become a belief. But if you want to shift right in the moment, just pick something that's 1% lighter that you still believe, and you will instantly feel different. It's amazing. So instead of, for instance, I don't have time, I have time for what I choose, or what we wrote a minute ago, I have time for what truly matters. Instead of I'm behind, I'm always running behind, I'm right where I need to be in this moment. I like that. I have to hurry. Instead, I can move with clarity. And this last one is something that I've been saying to myself, is slowing down is speeding up. However, I do want to point out, because while I was writing this, I thought about Michelle. And I'm like, she keeps telling me that speeding up, she enjoys it. That's what she likes. It's fun to her. You just got to find your pace. And maybe that is the right pace for you. And I don't want you to ever take this information and not listen to your heart or decide, oh, I need to be doing because this is what I was taught. You do what feels right to you. So go by what you feel. So if it feels good, you're not feeling overwhelmed, then that's the right pace for you. You know, I was thinking about the other day because I keep saying, oh, you probably do need to slow down. I'm like, actually, you probably freaking don't. You need to do what feels right in your heart. So time expands with safety. So maybe you doing all these things makes you feel safe, Michelle. Maybe that's what it is for you, you know? I don't know. Time expands with safety and presence. It collapses in fear and resistance. So where's all this self-talk coming from anyway? Who put it in there? Right? So self-talk comes, as we know in this group, but for new people joining in, it comes from our unmet needs. This whole subconscious reel running in the background is other people's stuff we picked up in our childhood, other people's self-talk when we were little. Before the age 7, we had no filters. We just accepted everything in as truth. And then once we became 7, we began creating our own filters and sifting through information. But before that, we just took everything in. So our subconscious reel is all of the siblings and parents and community and friends that we had before the age 7. And it usually stems from an unmet need that was in those people, and we absorbed it and took it on ourselves. So when a core need isn't met, the psyche doesn't just feel the pain, it adapts. Remember, survival mode. This is what our subconscious is doing. So that adaptation becomes a persona, a way of being, a way of relating to the world. A persona is not who we are. It's who we became to survive. There are good personas too. They're not all terrible. So we're just looking at the ones that we want to shift, right? So how does a persona distort time? Well, it's living in the future or past and not in the present moment. For instance, like the achiever, what's next? What's next? Living in the future all the time. Or the caretaker, who's living to take care of other people's needs. Or the controller, what might go wrong? That's also like in the future. Time only exists in the present, so it causes us to experience, saying that a persona can cause us to experience time scarcity, pressure, chronic urgency. So the ultimate root solution is meeting the unmet need now. Now you can just shift the self-talk like we were doing a minute ago, and you have profound results. But if you want to take it another step forward, we're looking for the unmet need. And it can be as simple as just acknowledging the unmet need to allow your persona to rest. All right? Even when we haven't completely met the unmet need yet, but we're acknowledging it, it makes a shift. So it's pretty cool. All right, I don't want us to get too caught up on this page because we're all different. We're all unique little butterflies. I was going to say snowflakes, but butterfly wings are good too. So this is just common ones. This doesn't mean that you have to fit in one of these categories, but these are common personas that affect time in our life. Number one, safety. We've all experienced times where we don't feel safe and what happens with our nervous system. So there's this, common belief that I'm not safe unless I stay alert and I'm guarded. Personas that can form is rushing, overperforming, controlling. And it makes time experience like you're always behind, you're always kind of bracing. It feels fast. Common self-talk, I have to hurry, I can't relax. If I slow down, something bad's gonna happen. I've definitely experienced that before. Another common one has to do with worthiness and self-worth. This belief that I have to earn my value. And the personas that can develop from this is overachieving, overdoing it, the perfectionist. I have to say, I used to have this one a lot, and I've come a long way with this one. I'm really, really proud about that. But time can be experienced as there's never enough time, because you never have enough to be perfect to do it all, right? So there's never enough time. You always need more time to prove yourself, and rest feels unsafe. Common self-talk could be, I should be doing more. I can't stop yet. I'm failing or I'm falling behind. The third one, unmet need, is love and belonging, connection. Personas that can develop. The caretaker. Now, there's nothing wrong with being a caretaker. We're talking about if you're a caretaker to the point that it's not making you happy or it's causing some kind of discontent in your life. So personas can be the caretaker, the people pleaser. I know well, the people pleaser. The overgiver. Oh, yes. I need to look at this one a little bit more closely, right? I feel like all of my stuff comes back to number 3 oftentimes when I forget to seek love and connection. And not just love and connection, but deep, soulful love and connection. So time begins to experience like your time belongs to others. Personal time is selfish. So you're constantly feeling depleted. Us moms go through that, a lot of us moms, right? Because some of that, there's a fine line between that because we have to take care of our children. And so, but if we can remember to put in some more time for ourselves, as we all know at this point, self-care, we can dissolve a lot of this persona. Common self-talk is, I don't have time for me. And the last one, unmet need of freedom. I thought this was interesting because I haven't looked at the unmet need of freedom very often. And I apologize for these typos I'm seeing here. Freedom. The belief is I don't get to choose. And the personas that can come up as the rebel. Hello, mom, 16-year-old me. Or the procrastinator, my dad, all day long. The avoider. I don't want to deal with that. That's also, I've had that one. So personas that come up from that. And it means that your time might be experienced as resistance to schedules. Time feels imposed and urgency triggers shutdown. Common self-talk, I don't want to. My son says that all the time to me. I'm just laughing. I'll do it later. Why should I have to? All right. We have a little exercise here to do. But actually, before we get to that, let's have some pen and paper. Because I figure we're going to go into talking at that point. Oops. Yeah. What's this? Okay. Oh my God, I forgot I made that page. I just wanted to also include a couple of things that are practical that we can do, but that also relate to this because I thought this was interesting too. Practical ways to expand time. So slowing down is speeding up. I actually read this somewhere, which I'm laughing because I've been telling Michelle this forever. And I'm like, oh. So speeding up can, not for everybody, cause anxiety. But it did say not necessarily just slowing down. Oops. but it's about embodying your own pace. So, and that was something that we were just talking about. So finding your own pace, because if you're rushing, often you create mistakes. This is just practical stuff. It creates exhaustion, and you're not efficient. So if we just, the suggestion was to move, speak, and type 10% slower, allowing your body to set the pace. Um, you've probably heard this before, but it's still worth mentioning. Multitasking fractures time, presence multiplies it. So anytime we think we can multitask, which, hey, as moms, I mean, sometimes we have to, but every time we do it, we're splitting our attention. We lose pieces of time in the transitions. So one task fully done versus 5 tasks half done. I did like this interesting part that I did not know about, that our subconscious loves completion. So if you finish one task, you're signaling safety, which slows perception down. I thought that was very interesting. I didn't realize that how much our subconscious likes completion. Transitions can create or destroy time. So most people lose time between tasks, not during them. If you've ever been to the gym and you're like, I'm going to get on that next machine after I chuck 10 texts or whatever, right? The transitioning. So the unconscious transition, if we're rushing or we're fragmented or we're distracting ourselves and losing focus, versus a conscious transition, which involves just stopping what you're doing altogether, taking a deep breath, and naming out loud what's next. Thought that was a cool little simple trick that I haven't tried before. Sacred containers. I was like, oh, we're going back to boundaries with time? Interesting. So if you set a boundary with time, I'm going to work on this project for 30 minutes and set a boundary that then I'll rest for 10 minutes. This creates safety again for our subconscious, and it helps our subconscious to relax and expand our perception of time. Interesting, I thought. And creating lists, which I do this all the time anyway, but it helps our brain use less energy trying to remember. So write it down and trust the list. Stop mental rehearsing. So I liked those little practical things, and they kind of circle back to what we're working on anyway, because it's all talking about our subconscious. So we have an exercise to do here, and then we're going to open up and talk about stuff. Whatever you guys want to talk about. It can be time related or not. I'm going to get my own pen and paper out. I want to do this with you. So we're looking at feeling a time when we did feel rushed, overwhelmed, stressed out. The question to ask ourselves, what am I afraid will happen if I slow down? Or am I afraid something will happen? Don't let me put words in your mouth. So just think about that for a minute. What need is that fear pointing to? And I relisted some of the common ones. It might be something different. Safety, certainty, self-worth, love and connection, freedom, growth, boundaries. If you get stuck, remember to go back into your heart. Interesting. had something interesting come up for me. And then the last question is, can I meet the need right now? Even if it's just 5%, because 5% is enough to create a perception shift in time. Because you forget when you're in the moment of it and you're all entangled in what's happening around you that, oh no, wait a minute, there's something I need right now. That's why I like to start our sessions with breathing into heart and just say, what do I need right now? That might be a powerful interrupt for all of us.
Mhm.
What do I need right now? There's something I need, and that's why this persona is surfacing. What is it? And just breathe into your heart and ask. Just one answer for everything, guys.